Last week in the Lenovo Pro Series, we saw one of the closest finishes of the entire year on AG the channel, and Juan Rodriguez was able to get the win in the Champion 200. This week, kicking off a very exciting championship weekend here in Darlington Raceway. We are here for race 2 of the season for the Lenovo Pro Series, and it is the Mello Yello 150 here for Pro Series Dynamica at the Lady in Black. Hello everyone, it is Nathan here and welcome back to the Lenovo Pro Series, race number 2 here tonight of 17. And if it's anything like last week, then we could be in for a treat. A very fun race at Daytona underneath the lights, and we saw a full finish that could be up there for one of the closest on the year on AG the channel. And who knows, we could see something similar like that here at Darlington, and I'm sure we will see a lot of great racing and get a little bit of a preview for not only the Sprint Series race here tomorrow night, but also the Truck Series race, and of course the season 9 for the Wawa Cup Series. We got the owner of Vision Motorsports, we got Matthew Huber up here in the booth for this one. Welcome to Darlington Raceway for the Pro Series.
Yep, great to be back, and oh boy, what is there to say about Darlington that hasn't been said already? One of the most unique tracks on the schedule, and for some of these drivers, one of the most difficult tracks to get through. I already see some drivers who could be very competitive going forward, and also for the likes of Alexander Rowe, in terms of her Sprint Series title, this is going to be important for him to learn over 2 days from now, actually, on Friday instead of Wednesday. And also Johnson Jameson. I have no idea if any of you know this in the Wawa Cup Series, but this guy did not qualify for a single race. And I really hope this guy gets a good result here.
Absolutely. He's kind of struggled, unfortunately, in the World Cup Series this year, but hopefully he can have a good result. He got a decent finish at Daytona, not that great, but he's back, so maybe he can have another decent result here today at Darlington Raceway. And you touched on it, this is a very tricky racetrack, very near a groove. One lane in 1 and 2, two different lanes in 3 and 4. You can sometimes swipe the second lane and get a 1, but it's really a inside lane dominant. And the key about this racetrack is to not get into the wall off of turn number 2. Sometimes it can have a Darlington stripe, and sometimes you can have what I can call a Darlington smack, which is a big time hit into the wall. And if you hit the wall, then that will really damage the race car. Stripe not too bad, but a hit will really hurt it. So, gotta see what ends up happening. We will quickly touch on the points, even though it doesn't really matter right now. After race 1 of the season, Juan Rodriguez is the point leader, 3 points over Alex Tanker. Howley Anderson Jr. is in 3rd, -4. Mark Richardson in 4th, -5. Bobby Rufus Jackson, -7. Samet Oscar, -8. Charlie Hightower, -9. Angel Gutierrez and BP Ruiz, -10. And then Emily York Watson, that was out of the top 10, 12 points back. But like I said, that's only from Daytona. Points don't matter yet here in the Lenovo Pro Series. It will eventually, with only being 17 races, but we gotta see how it all plays out. 28 laps here today, and on the pole is Charles Bowen in the number 16. I feel like I've said that a lot in the Sprint Series. Late in the year, and it has carryover to the Pro Series. And alongside him is the car-winning caller and driver from last week is Juan Rodriguez in the number 17. BB Ruiz in the number 33. Hallie Anderson Jr. in the number 61. The A of Dennis Stanley, even the 64 of Alexander Rowe, one of the drivers going for the Sprint Series title here this week. Number 27, J.L. Littleton, 52 of Emily York Watson, the 62 of Mark Richardson, the 41 of Angel Gutierrez, the 88 of Sammy Camara, the 37 of Matt Blatt, the 47 of Kobe Light, the 63 one of Will Colors of Santa Davison, the 77 of Carson Miller, the number 40 of Bradley Weem, the number 7 of Johnson Jameson. Still steep in the field, but like I said, hopefully he can have a good one based on what has happened in the World Cup Series this year. Chase McClure in the number 23, and then the self-proclaimed cheese caller, according to Travis last week, Sarah Taylor in the number 32, the number 87 of Neil Zonka, the 78 of Tyler Hoover, the 99 of Matthew Hall, the 25 of Aaron Lutz, the 51 of Greg Victoria's Benny, the number 71 of Jerry Townsend, and right out of the grid is the number 72 and Sonny Holfie. So that's going to be our 26 car field here tonight, and I'm going to leave it up to you. 28 laps is a very short race, just like the Sprint Series here in the spring. Who do you think will win here in the race 2 on the season and in the Mello Yello 150?
Well, with how Charles Bowen has been performing in car number 16 in the Sprint Series side of things, I would not at all be surprised if he converts that pole position into a race win.
I would not be surprised either. He's won, I think, 3 races, all in the second half of the season in the Hull Sprint Series, and he's been one of those drivers that maybe, in a full-time series like the Lenovo Pro Series and just starting out, maybe he could have a shot at the title. Didn't get a good one at Daytona, unfortunately, for Charles Bowen, even though he has the fast lap. He got just outside of the top 10. So, once a bit of a slow here today, but we gotta wait and see if that 17 of Juan Rodriguez can go back to back here in the Hull Sprint Series. Or not Hull Sprint Series, the Pro Series, I should say. But we got a driver that's going after the Sprint Series title all year and barely missed out on it. BB Ruiz in third, and of course Hal Anderson Jr. in fourth. Everyone is one off, and for the second week in a row, it's time to go Pro Series racing at Darlington Raceway. Bowens and Rodriguez lead us to the green, and we are Pro Series down in America at Darlington for the Mello Yello 150. A great start from Charles Bowens, a bad start for Rodriguez in the 17. And that is Darlington. You don't want to be stuck on the outside lane. He is going to get back down to the bottom with a one on the outside off turn number 4. And single file at the moment. BP Ruiz in second, Hallie Anderson Jr. in third. And you got to watch out for this, as I think the 52 line is about to mention it. The Darlington Stripe or the Darlington Smack off turn number 2. And 52 already has some right side damage on that number 2.
Yeah, and then, as we saw there, the Furry Free of BB Ruiz already had a massive jump on the start. Almost looked like he was gonna try and attempt to pass on the 16, perhaps, but didn't quite get there because that would have made it pretty wide. Probably wouldn't have worked, but the top 3 have almost pulled away somewhat, but Juan Rodriguez, my goodness, is right up the bumper of the 61 actually, and here comes BB Ruiz trying to make a move past the 16 of Charles Bowen.
That was a little bit tight off turn number 2, but Bowen did a great job keeping it out of the wall. And he's going to go side by side, might be able to get a 1 on the 61 on exit, and he does. And that's going to allow the 16 to file back into second place. But BP Ruiz, one of those drivers that could finish top 4, top 5 in the Sprint Series title here this week. And he is in the lead And unfortunately for him, he enters 28 points back, and if he does this and wins in the sprint series race, he would still be 1 or 2 points behind Abel and Lowe. So, unfortunately, this won't really matter if he does this in the sprint series, but it will matter definitely here in the Pro Series with this only being race number 2. And he's starting to pull away from Bowen, Hallians Jr. and Rodriguez. And we'll see if Hallians Jr. can get to the inside of Bowen, but not quite gonna get there. You know, that number 6, and this is just like the sprint series race. This race is only 28 laps, and this will fly on by here in the Mello Yello 150.
And it almost looks like Ruiz trying to get a half-second gap on the 16. And I'm not sure if I remember this correctly. I'm pretty sure this is the same car that won last year's Pro Series race with Tyler Stevenson driving it. And looking to go back-to-back for Rogel Dorn's team, Dutch Atlantish. And I think the 27 is up to the 6th position with J.R. Revelton. So it's going to be a good points day. Albeit, we don't know who the top teams are going to be yet. Saying that he gets moved out of line, losing 2 positions, maybe even the 3rd on the 88 of Camara.
Absolutely, and the 4th from the 77, and you brought up a good point. We do have slight almost ratings here in the Pro Series, and that's different, unlike the equal ratings of the Sprint Series. And it's only 2 races in plus the preseason one, so it's kind of hard to tell of what will be the top teams. But we will find out later on in the season, side by side for second, as Bowen gets into that sidewall and gets a Darlington stripe, and that's going to allow a bunch of drivers to get past him. Hallie Anderson Jr., Rodriguez, and here comes the 8 of Dylan Stanley, even the 62 of Mutt Richardson, all going to get past that 16. And that is the nature of Darlington. One mistake will cost you multiple spots in the 88 as well. Mello going to lose a ton of ground as well in between 1 and 2.
I'm not quite sure if that's due to a lack of experience or not, but we have seen drivers who has years of experience on the channel. As we almost saw the 27 sideswipe Charles Bowen, drivers who had years on this channel run wide and get a Darlington stripe. It just shows how difficult this track is to conquer at some points.
Absolutely. It doesn't really matter if you're a new driver on the channel or a veteran. Eventually, everyone will get a Darlington stripe here at Darlington, and we've seen that already, and I'm sure we will see that a lot in the Sprint Series, the Truck Series, and the Cup Series here this weekend. It looks like Hallie Anderson Jr. is closing in on BB Ruiz slightly here. This is a long race, but we're not even halfway through. This is a short race, I should say, but we're not even halfway through the Mello Yello 150. And it looks like Hallie Anderson Jr. is closing in a little bit on that 33, but so is the 17, so is the 80, and so is the 62. So, interesting to see how this all shakes out. And here comes Juan Rodriguez in the 17, gonna go side by side for second, and that's gonna lose 1, 2, maybe 3 or 4 spots for Hallie Anderson Jr. And you know what, call me crazy, but Juan Rodriguez might start the season off with back-to-back race wins.
Yeah, it could be. That 17 car. Not sure where Logan Sport was in points last year, but this could be a very good way to start out the season with potential back-to-back wins. Not sure where Jameson is. Probably just on the cusp of a top 10 right now. 64 getting pushed wide. And there is Johnson Jameson in the number 7. 12th place. A decent recovery from where he started. Believe it was 17th. And where has the 16 fallen back to? Just in front of the 7. And
The 78 has
we'll need to see
a hurt
how,
buckle.
like I was about to say, We'll need to see how some of these drivers like Charles Bowen do in later races to see if they could contend for the championship. And oh no.
Oh no, that might be why the 70 has a hood buckle. 63 with an engine, and you hate to see it for the team. And meanwhile, battle for the race lead. Ruiz slides up the racetrack side by side. Ruiz and Rodriguez for the race lead here at Darlington.
And Juan Rodriguez, not sure if he won a channel before the inaugural LPS race for 2025, but he's looking to do two in a row. But the Furry Free has used the outside lane to his advantage in turns 3 and 4. This is one of the more interesting races. Turns 1 and 2 is more outside dominated, but the outside lane or inside lane for 1 and 2. But the outside lane can hold out pretty well in turns 3 and 4 as we see the 77. Not sure what he's going to do. Clears the 27 for now. That's going to force the 64 out of line. Put Kobe Light inside the top 10. Maybe even Johnson Jameson.
And it looks like that is going to be the case for Johnson Jameson. Great one for him, that 17, and it's good to see him have a good one here based off of what has happened in, of course, the World Cup Series. But you kind of touched on it. We got a unique race right here today for the Pro Series. I knew that the outside lane was going to be decent in 3 and 4, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. It's either that or BP Reach just has an outside lane car, and he's able to maintain that race lead. 19 of 28, 10 laps to go in the Mello Yello 150. BP Ruiz trying to hang on to last week's winner Juan Rodriguez, and we gotta wait and see how this plays out. The 17 trying to go 2 in a row as the 61 goes wide up into 1 and 2. But with the 7 being up here and the 72 not being up here for Triad, then that's gonna really allow Logan Sport to gain early on in the owner standings. But Logan Sport looking pretty good. But you know what's also looking pretty good? Here comes Mark Richardson in the number 62 late to the inside of last week's runner for second.
Might be that 62 car might have a better long run car than the 17, perhaps? Could he potentially get up to the Furry Free and pass him with... It's almost 7 laps to go here. Man, this goes by quick. But anyways, 17 drops back to the bumper of the 80 of Dylan Standeven, and Anderson Jr. and Carson Miller are not too far behind.
Absolutely great ones from Anderson Jr., Carson Miller, and Dylan Standeven, who won here earlier in the year in the Sprint Series. But you touched on it. Maybe the 62 does have a long car. It's only 28 laps, but it's still some tire with about a second and a half to 2 seconds of tire fall off in only a 28 lap span. So this is Darlington. It's another aspect to it where tire was a significant problem. And we've seen BB have a good car always, but I think the 62 might have a long run car. Might have a battle for 30 and might have a battle for a 5th place spot. Carson Miller to the inside of Hallie Anderson Jr. and he's going to get off turn number 2 is BB Ruiz. Mark Richardson, Juan Rodriguez, Dylan Standeven, Carson Miller, Hallie Anderson Jr., Jalen Rippleton, the 47 of Kobe Light, Sammy Camara, and the number 7 of Johnson Jameson running out of the top 10 with just 5 laps to go here at Darlington.
Now, I want to think of what's going through BB Ruiz's head at this moment. Not only has he thinking about his team winning the inaugural race for the Truck Series, and yes, if spoilers for those who haven't watched it yet, but also he's thinking about what happened to the leader last year's race when Drew Webb cut down a tire going into turn 1. Apologies for Drew Webb for mentioning that. But the Furry Free is showing strong. It's been fluctuating between 3 and 4 tenths this time by. Not sure what it's going to be. Going to 4, no, 3 to go. Oh
Oh
boy, this
boy.
62 might be closing in.
62 has help from the 17, the 8, and the 77. The draft does help a little bit. 62 went a little bit wide up to number 2. But this is not over. 2.5 laps to go. And Mark Richardson is closing back in on this number 33. A great 1, 2, 3, and 4. Might have a shot into 1 and 2 with 2 laps to go. But the 17's going to try and get inside, and now that's going to allow Richardson to have to block the 17. And now he's going to have to go back onto offense on the 33. 3 cars under the blanket with 1.5 laps to go at Darlington.
62 car Mark Richardson will have to pass the Furry Free coming to the white flag into turn 1, but I'm not
Oh
sure if
boy.
he's going to have a gap to get there. We'll see. White flag, 1 lap to go.
He's so good in 3 and 4. Louise one's a little bit wide. Richardson one's a little bit low. He's gonna get a decent one off turn number 2. He's gonna have to send it in 3 and 4. He's been better in 3 and 4 than BB Ruiz. But I don't think it's gonna be close enough. He's gonna get a 1 off of turn number 4, but it's not gonna be enough. BB Ruiz gonna hang on and win here at Darlington in the Mello Yello 150. But boy, that was close with Richardson and Rodriguez right behind him in second and third.
Wow. What a race there for BB Ruiz, leading most of the laps there. Very dominant drive there. Second year in a row that this Furry Free car has won the Darlington race in the Lenovo Pro Series. So another owner win there for Rogel Dorn. And good run. I have to give credit to the 62 car of Mark Richardson for giving it his all. If there were at least 2, maybe 3 more laps, he might have got the win. Or even that 17 car.
Absolutely. I think that 62 was really, really strong. Late with the 1s and 3 and 4. Just, I think what hurt him is that he couldn't get a big enough one to get to the inside of the 33 into turn 1. He was able to get a good one, but not a great one, and that was what ended up hurting him. But great one from BB. Got a top 10 at Daytona, and now he gets the win here at Darlington. So it looks like BB, if he can sign up for the right colors, he could be another contender here, just like in the Smith Series, here in the Pro Series. But one thing's for certain, because Rodriguez got a third place one, and Harley Anderson Jr. got 6, it will definitely be Juan Rodriguez being up front in the points lead, but Mark Richardson is also going to be there, so it's going to be very close between those 3, but because Tanko's not in the field here today, Bobby Rufus Jackson, Cement Oscar was not in the field, it's definitely going to be, I believe, Juan Rodriguez, Mark Richardson, and Harley Anderson Jr. with a early season pull away over the field. But what a race here at Darlington. This track never disappoints. BB Ruiz gets the win, Richardson in second, Rodriguez in third. Staying even, and Carlson Miller rounds out the top 5. Harley Anderson Jr. in 6th, Shea Whippleton in 7th, Colby Light in 8th, Kamara and Johnson Jameson rounds out the top 10. Alexander with a strong 11th, and that could be some build up for him for the Sprint Series finale here tomorrow. And we gotta see if he can win the championship both later, or if it will be Aaron Abel getting that one. Charles Bowen fell back to 12th, still a solid one for him. Sarah Taylor, the cheese caller, gets 13th. Townsend, Hoffey, Gutierrez, Fitzroy, Benny, Hall, Black, Hoover, McClure, Zonka, William, Lutz, and then York Watson in 25th, and then unfortunately Zane Davidson had a connection go bad on that 63, and I think that's what caused the 78 to have a hurt buckle. But what a race here at Darlington. What's the final thoughts of that one for the Mello Yello 150, and How do you think the rest of the weekend could go here for the championship weekend in Darlington?
Now, I'm not sure about that. Alexander Rowe did get 11th after starting 6th, and I'm pretty sure he's starting on the outside lane as
Hmm.
well, so that's going to be a bit tough for him to. He's just going to need to hope that Aaron Abel also drops back as well from his 3rd starting spot. But we'll see how that championship is going to be decided on Friday.
Absolutely. The sprint series has been very, really tight all season long, and really the last month or so, and that could come down to the wire. And of course, I'm looking forward to the truck race here at Darlington, and of course, the World Cup Series race as well for the Mello Yello 7500 and the season 9 for that. But we got Toledo next week here for the Pro Series. Science already happened yesterday, but looking forward to that one. Some short track racing here in the Lenovo Pro Series, and see if some of these drivers starting to get top 5, top 10 will continue at Toledo for a third different track type of a short track. Congratulations to BB Louise on the race win here today in the Mello Yello 150. Thanks for Matthew Hubert for joining me up here in the booth for this one. And we will see you guys next week at Toledo Speedway for race 3 of the season.